Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Really proud of told the team last week in the locker room and where we are right now. Just proud of the effort and attitude and the resiliency and the toughness and grit, determination of the guys in the locker room and the coaches and support staff. You obviously didn't start the game off the way we wanted to, and we put ourselves in an early hole, and it takes a lot of poise to be able to battle your way back and do all the things that the guys were capable of doing, and coaches staying in the rhythm and in the flow of the game. And, there's no 21-point plays. You weren't going to all get it back at once, but we had to just piece it together one play at a time in terms of how we were going to put ourselves back in a position to come away with a W. A lot of players stepped up. A lot of guys made plays when we needed them to, and a lot of coaches made a lot of great calls when the game was on the line. So collective group effort. And here we are coming off the practice field and really heading into our big-time matchup on the road again at Akron. Anytime you go on the road in this conference, you got to bring your mental toughness and discipline and the right mindset and attitude with you. And we are excited about what's in front of us and what we have remaining and really growing this team into what we can ultimately feel like we can become.
Coach, it seems like up until last week, you guys were like right there. Yeah, Coastal, where you were right there, didn't quite get it. Western Michigan, Kent State, etc. What was the difference this time in being able to and get the result that you wanted in the second?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've been in you look at in our season, we've been in a ton of battles, as you mentioned. 22 points have decided our last 5 games, and we've felt the pain of coming up just short, and then we've also laid out, what the approach was and what we needed to do to get over and get on the right side of the win column with those things. And you look at just guys making plays. I mean, the game is on the line. Max Michel is chasing the ball down, passing people up on the way to the ball, and punches the ball out at the point of attack. There's a player from Ohio that tries to pick it up. We call that a dirty recovery. And Gaddafi Wright, something we practice every single day, knocks the ball out of the Ohio player's hands and is able to recover the ball for us in a critical situation. One of the things I'm most proud of is there's so many situations that were presented in that game against Ohio that we practice all the time. We practice on Thursdays with our Technique Thursday and our Fast Fridays and situational football. We talk about knowing and respecting the situation. The situation is going to be won by the players and coaches that really know and understand it and respect it. And to be able to gain possession with 6 minutes left and on the 5-yard line and to make the plays when the plays were needed to be made, to keep the drives alive, a collective group effort. The offensive line protected very well. Jamari Gassett got going on some crossing patterns. Dom Johnson made a huge catch on 3rd and 9 right there on the sideline. And then you look up and it's 4th and 6. We decide to continue to go for it. And Tyler Stevens, he catches the ball 2 or 3 yards behind the sticks, breaks the tackle, and he understood the situation and was able to puncture and get right there at the sticks and get that first down. And then from there, it's just game management and clock management of how, time and clock and timeouts, play clock, how much time is left, how much time runs off of every single play, and then when we're going to use these timeouts to put ourselves in the right position to end the game with the ball in our possession, and something that we were able to do. And then Alex stepping up and making a big kick for us to win the game.
How does it
Alex,
like that?
what did that do to help his confidence?
Yeah,
That kick.
I think anytime you make a big play in a critical situation, it can't do anything but build and boost the confidence that you have. We've seen Alex kick very well in practice a ton, and then we've seen him miss some critical kicks in some games. And it's really the heart of a champion just to be able to respond back. Just 2 weeks ago, we were at Kent State. Alex had a similar kick to tie the game up and against Kent State, and we missed that kick, and it was great to see him respond the way he did to make the kick, to go ahead, and to see the team respond around him the way they did. I think collectively as a culture and as a program was just really healthy for everybody.
Kickers are kind of isolated in what they do. still, with public season. But when you're coaching a kicker who opens 5 for 11, how do you kind of keep him even keeled?
Well, when you see him do it enough in practice, I mean, I think there's confidence because of his demonstrated ability of what he's already done. To me, it's, what gives you confidence? It's knowledge gives you confidence. You build your confidence through preparation, and then really you gain your confidence through demonstrated ability. I've done something before, so now I know I believe I can do it again. So in practice, we literally practice that exact same situation on our Friday practices, ball in our hand, clock running down, timeout, when we're going to call the timeout, how we're going to center the ball, and then getting the field goal unit out there, whether it was a fast Mayday field goal or whether it was a dead ball field goal where we can trot them out and then get set, get it aligned, and go make the play. And Alex did that. We snapped it, we held it the right way, protected very good, and Alex made a big-time kick.
Coach, do you have any theory on the slow starts the last couple of weeks, and is there anything in particular that you can kind of do to address it within the team or in practice or whatever?
Yeah, I think how you practice, just emphasizing. I think anytime something's the way you don't want it to be, you're always looking at, what do you need to emphasize? What do you need to maybe change or adjust? And I think more than anything, it's just an emphasis on not putting ourselves, in a hole early in the game, and making the first down drives early, getting yourself going, being able to flip the field, and then really it's just a matter of just executing and getting off the field on defense on a consistent basis. Things that we've done in every game, things we've done in our comeback situations. You just got to do it earlier, to not put yourself in a hole early on. So it's just an emphasis. I think there's so many moving parts in football. There's hundreds of decisions that got to be made, and there's so many moving parts. Sometimes if it was just one thing, it's almost providing just an easy solution for a more complex answer. So we're making an emphasis of it. Our guys are very aware of it, and we're looking forward to the opportunity to go put ourselves in a position to not do that and get off to a fast start here at 3:30 against Akron.
Some teams, I'm sure, you go down 21-0, they might pack it in. They might say, hey, you know what, let's try again next week. For you personally, I know you talk about, trying to get, your culture here and put your stamp on this program, even though it seems like you just got here a few months ago. What does a game like this do for your confidence? That, it seems like things are kind of going, it seems like the way you want them to do, and that the guys are, I don't know if following your example is the right way to put it, but, they go down early and they're not quitting.
I think, so much in leadership is consistency. And I believe, we've had some situations where we've had some tough situations this year. We've had some big-time great situations as well. And then we've also had to deal with the results of some tight ball games and things not going our way. And I think consistency is the key, poise in critical situations. It's a similar situation 2 weeks in a row. We're down we're down 3 possessions in a game, and the ability to have the poise and the confidence in the guys and collectively rally everybody. I think it really goes back to vision. It goes back to purpose. It goes back to having confidence in the people that are around you, and then putting people in a position to go out there and play the way they're able to play, and then coaches making the right calls. It's a group collective effort, and obviously as a leader of the organization and program, I think much of it is responded and reflected off of how I handle myself every single day. So I'm proud of what the guys were able to do. It's one game. It's a big game for us because it was the game that we had. This week against Akron is where all of our attention and focus is, and correcting the mistakes that we had from previous weeks. And really, you look up in 35 days from today, the regular season portion of where we are is going to be over, and depending on what we do with the rest of this regular season, the next 35 days, you do what you're supposed to do, and you have more opportunities that are presented to you, which is what we're looking to do. And for us, it's just about having a growth mindset. How can you grow as much as humanly possible and improve as much as humanly possible over the next 35 days? I think you've seen so many young guys in our program and organizations step up, that some guys that weren't even here, like a Keon Williams, Josh Rogers, Damon Williams, and then obviously returning players as well, but like a Jamari Gassett, a young guy, Tyler Stevens, a young guy, that are stepping up in critical situations. Vince Polgar just played his best game at center. Just a ton of guys that are, as much as they've maybe even been on the team before, this is some of these guys' first actual game reps in critical situations, and you're seeing the growth and a lot of the maturity and that has to take place through some of the challenging situations, but being able to respond through a challenging challenging situation is everything for us, and just proud of where we are. We know it's a fight. We know it's a battle. We know that nobody's going to give anybody anything. This is extremely competitive conference, and every single week you got to play your A game and bring your best. And all we can do is learn and grow from what we've been through. You know, you grow through what you go through. You know, can you grow through even success? Can you grow through sometimes when things don't work out the way you wanted to, and just improve? And the mindset is, how do we improve? How do we grow? And really continue to be our best and play our best football here over the next 35 days of the regular season.
First MAC win for you, first MAC win of the season for these guys. Just does this kind of give you guys like the spark that you needed at this point this season?
You know, I mean, you could maybe call it that. I just think, just from some of the previous games that we've been in, because they've been battles. You know, 22 points in 5 games, guys. These are battles. These are physical, mental, emotional, psychological battles. And you know, I told the team, you know, you got to be careful about riding the roller coaster that sometimes a season can take you on. But obviously, we want to build on the positives, and there's a ton of positives coming. 17 points in the fourth quarter, being able to get the stops that we made at the end of the game, and then being able to make the plays with the game on the line, because we were in a very similar situation on the road against Kent State, and we fell short. So to be able to see our team respond the right way, obviously, we want to just continue to try to play our best football, continue to grow. We know there's a big challenge ahead of us over the next 35 days of the regular season, and every day we just focus on what's in front of us, you know, and the day that's in front of us. And when you're coaching young men that sometimes you can have a lot of outside noise and outside influences, and really you kind of got to block out the clutter and just refocus your focus on how do we recreate what we were able to do well, and how do we correct the mistakes that we want to correct, and then continue to grow and push forward throughout the season.
You mentioned Tyler Stevens. It was a bit of a breakout game for the tight end position. Is that something you've been trying?
Yeah, we had the entire tight end room stand up. I think Coach Ron Wickham's doing an outstanding job, and Coach Montgomery's getting them involved more and more every single week. We had the entire tight end room stand up, and we gave them a round of applause the day after the game for their efforts. I mean, you look at a guy like Jake Mullenich. I mean, he is blocking as hard as I've seen a guy block. I mean, he puts people down on their back consistently. He brings that hard-nosed attitude. Tyler Stevens coming through with big plays and big moments, but you've seen him build. He's a guy that, you know, Tyler Stevens, if you ever come out to our practice, I mean, he's shadowing the reps when he's not even in the rep to make sure that he never misses a rep. So, I mean, he's behind Trevor, shadowing what he's doing so he can continue to prepare himself. Trevor Borland came through with a big-time touchdown catch. Cole Bernstein is growing in the right direction. So we just feel like guys are making strides at the right time right now, and are really proud of Tyler and what he's doing, and then the rest of the guys collectively going along and everything that's going on there.
Kevin Marks and Till Riggins in practice today, will they be available this weekend?
Yeah, Kevin's we're going to make a game time decision on. Doubtful for Taylor, but we'll make that final decision Saturday morning, sometime Saturday, seeing how he does and how he feels.
And with that, the guys who stepped up in those roles as running back and at the end, Dylan McDuffie, Eric Black, CJ Gazilli, how have they taken on those roles, and especially having to find out Saturday morning they're going to be in those roles?
Well, you're always. I think the first thing for a player is you're not waiting to play. You're always preparing to play. You know, if you're waiting to play, I think things can catch you off guard. If you have the mindset that I'm preparing as if I'm about to go out there and play 50 or 60 snaps at any moment, you can put a helmet on and go do that. I think our culture and how we practice demands that, and I think guys respond to that very well. Dylan McDuffie did not miss a beat because he handled his preparation the right way, and he handled it very maturely going into the week, and he was ready and to be his best when we needed him to be his best because of how he practiced and how he prepared. And that's what the culture here demands, and that's what we demand of our players, and I'm really proud of the guys stepping up and being able to do that in critical situations.
Akron has started 3 different quarterbacks this year. How does that affect your, and they're all various styles of quarterback, how does that affect your preparation for this game?
Sure. I mean, we've kind of faced a little bit of this. Ohio had a similar dynamic headed into the game. all three quarterbacks have been effective at times, and they've all had their moments. There are some similarities that do cross over, and there are some distinct, drastic differences. The good thing for us right now is that we've seen pretty much every style of player quarterback that there is up to this point to where we are this season. We've had the versatile option guys. We had some of the drop back guys, a little bit more like Crum was, and then we've had some of the guys that maybe aren't zone read guys, but that are mobile and that can make plays with their legs. So we'll see how the flow of the game goes, and we'll be prepared for who Akron decides to put out there. And really, when you get to this point of the season, it's about you and your execution and playing your best football. So we know this is a big challenge anytime you go on the road. We respect Akron and everything that they're doing. We feel like they're playing good football right now. We know we have a big challenge ahead of us, and we're ready to go out there and play our best football.